We have exciting new video of the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness being tested. The goddess Luna is being assembled at the front of the park. We also get our first look at Toothless, plus a variety of testing has been seen inside the park. There's so much to cover in this August 2024 update for Universal Epic Universe, so let's get into it right now. Today we'll start with How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. A colorful sculpted dragon head can be seen here on top of the gift shop for Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Over here off to the side of the entrance to Mead Hall, this is a newer concrete wall that has been carved to look like stones. Here's a candy shop in the village plaza. The outside walls have been themed to look like logs, plus dragon heads have been installed around it. A dragon house has been staged on the ground outside of the candy shop. This will most likely be for the mountain behind the shop. So many dragon houses have been added to the mountain. There's so much color and greenery that continues to be added to it. Another dragon house is staged over in front of the entrance to Hiccup's Wing Gliders. From this angle, we can see stone steps have been added to the mountain. Just past the houses is Grog and Gruel. This will be the place to grab some snacks. Right in front of Grog and Gruel is a new concrete form. Most likely this will be for trees. The sheep has been installed at the entrance to the ride Dragon Racers Rally. It's currently wrapped in plastic. The queue for Dragon Racers Rally is being worked on. They recently added these tent frames to add shade over the queue. More targets are being installed at the ride called Fire Drill. As Vikings, we will get to practice putting out fires in this interactive boat ride. Here's a building by the entrance to Fire Drill. It's been painted recently. The roof on the load station and the entrance to the ride are still being worked on. On the load station, we can see several skinny pieces of wood that's been installed across the entire roof. On the other side of the second launch for Hiccup's Wing Gliders are some wood-like pillars that sort of look like Lincoln logs. These are for the Viking training camp. Orange weighted dummies are in the train car for Hiccup's Wing Gliders as they continue to test the roller coaster. We can see some cool details on the back of each car. The design on the cars looks like tree rings. We can also see the front of the coaster train in this photo. The dragon head is now on it. It appears that each train might have a different color of dragon. At the first launch coaster, we finally have a glimpse of the Toothless animatronic. It's normally covered in a red sheet. This is the entrance to Hiccup's Wing Gliders. The pair of statues are now covered in scaffolding as they will soon be painted. Last update, a bunch of tent frames had been added around the queue, but more recently colorful pavement has also been added. We can see they have prepped the ground for more concrete. Several trees have recently been planted along the water by Hiccup's Wing Gliders. Scaffolding was recently added around the statues in front of Mead Hall. They will be painted soon. In front of the portal, trees have been added inside the concrete shape. Here's a look at the land exit. Each portal will have an exit off to the side of its portal so it creates better flow in and out of the worlds. This building is the restaurant Spitfire Grill and the restrooms. This opening is where the Snow Wraith will be as seen in the concept art. On the ground is a stone wall not yet painted. This is most likely for the bottom portion of the opening here. Across from Spitfire Grill is the outdoor seating area. 3 new wire mesh figures have been added around the edge of the seating area. In the intro video to How to Train Your Dragon, they told us there would be dragons flying around in the Isle of Berk.
We have dragons flying overhead.
And now we have footage of a dragon that looks like Toothless flying in Epic Universe. Universal has been testing it outside. I imagine they've probably been testing it indoors before now, and this is the next phase of testing to see how it does with the wind and other environmental factors. Here next to the building for the Untrainable Dragon Theater, this is a concrete square believed to be the takeoff and landing point for the dragons flying overhead in the Isle of Berk. In the last update, we saw this themed element on the ground, and now it's been installed at the entrance to the Untrainable Dragon Show. Here is the Viking training camp. This is a kids' play area. A crane is actively placing one of the logs onto a new structure in the kids' play area. This won't be just for kids to play in, but it will also be educational. Kids will be taught about the different classes of dragons. Under this structure is a new addition. It looks like some sort of electrical box. Perhaps this could be where kids will learn about dragons. In the flyover, it appears like there are tablets here, but it could also just be some sort of game. We'll have to wait and see. Now, let's see what's happening at Celestial Park. Adventuring with Annie caught firework testing behind the Helios Grand Hotel. These are just tests. This is not what the actual fireworks will look like for the show. There is a peninsula located behind the in-park hotel. This is where these fireworks were being tested. Here's a Blue Dragon Pan Asian restaurant. This will serve Asian fusion cuisine, and inside it will look like a nighttime market. It will always be nighttime inside. There's a cascading water feature out in front where the rocks have recently been painted a reddish-orange color. At the entrance to Celestial Park is a Luna overlook. Earlier in the month, the bottom half of the Luna statue was on the ground in front of the overlook. However, more recently, the top half arrived and is being assembled. Luna is the moon goddess, and she will be in charge of the night at Celestial Park. Apollo is the sun god and in charge of the day. Celestial Park will have a transition between day and night. There will be a special ceremony every day to celebrate the change, where Apollo will pass the baton to Luna. More pieces to complete the Luna statue are wrapped in a protective covering waiting to be installed. One of the pieces looks like a rabbit. Some rocks have been painted blue at the edge of the cascading water feature near the Neptune pool. Rocks are being created here on the side of the Luna overlook. A pathway is being created here in front of the portal to the How to Train Your Dragon world. On the sides of the pathway are some structures that could either be kiosks or relaxation areas. This is a Kronos. It's a machine that will open the portals to other worlds, but it must be aligned. It's expected that these items inside the tower will actively spin. The rocks are being painted at the entrance to Epic Universe. More trees have been planted by the Security and Admission building. At the Constellation Carousel, the walls around the water feature is being created. The dense foam blocks we saw on our last update have now been stacked along the waterfront. Here's how it looked back in June. See the 4 half cylinders made from concrete that are still exposed, and now we can see the curved outline of where they were buried. Trees are now standing in front of the half cylinders. This is Astronomica. It's designed to look like a compass rose and is a splash pad. It will have its own music that will interact with the water jets. Plus, the water can be programmed to be linked to the main show fountain. Work continues on the colorful concrete circle in front of the entrance to Constellation Carousel. The tower for the attraction sign has been installed. The Pegasus has been placed on top of the Constellation Carousel. The ride is a celestial theme. The ride vehicles will be of different constellations. Around the ride platform, scrim has been placed to cover the inside, no doubt to hide the installation of the ride vehicles. The ride will have 8 different soundtracks, so each time you ride, there could be a different song playing. More rocks have been painted on the side of the Constellation Carousel. Here's how the pathway that leads up to the front entrance is looking so far. This is the entrance to Atlantic Restaurant. This sculpted overhang is a recent addition. This will be a restaurant that serves fish and will look like a Victorian aquarium. Here's a better look at the cement wall that was recently created in front of the restaurant. This is the Oak and Star Tavern. It will serve barbecue and will have an enchanted forest type of design to it. There will be woodland critters inside as well as some amazing stained glass panels. This will be 2 different restaurants that serve Italian and Mexican cuisine. The building was a late addition. The roof over the kitchen is now being covered. I think they're making amazing progress on this building. Here are some of the viewing areas for the main fountain show. I wonder if these will be reserved for VIPs. Currently, they are working on the pathway that will lead guests from the Helios Grand Hotel into Epic Universe. It's just off to the side of the current construction underway in front of the hotel. At the main attraction, Stardust Racers, work continues on the extended queue. One of the circular sections for the queue was recently paved. Walls have been created around the service road to close it off from guests going through the queue. Here we can see them working on the entrance signage for Stardust Racers. Now over to Super Nintendo World. Here's Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. Just like the roller coaster in the How to Train Your Dragon world, there are also orange test dummies in the minecart as they test the roller coaster. We also have video from BioReconstruct of ride testing for the roller coaster. There's a fence that separates the roller coaster track from the back of house. Previously, a structure was being staged in the back of house, and now it's been placed on top of the base of this structure, which will be the Donkey Kong tree house. This is the land's meet and greet area. Seen under here are some colorful elements that riders will pass by. This is Tiki Tong, who is the main antagonist in the game Donkey Kong Country Returns. Here's Funky's Flying By, the retail shop for Donkey Kong Country. Almost all the metal frames have been covered. A new character has been added on top of a pillar next to the track. This appears to be Mugly from Donkey Kong Country Returns. He's some kind of frog rhino hybrid. Another screaming pillar has been added over here where the track is broken. The stone walls over here have been themed at this water feature. Here's another view of the stone wall where the bridge crosses over the water. The trees have been installed on top of the temple. For a while they had been laying on top of the temple, but they still are waiting to be painted. Some triangle awnings have been added over here to add shade over the outdoor queue. More wooden stakes can be seen further down where more awnings will eventually be added. Next to Mount Beanpole is the elevator. On the last update, it was covered with its facade, and now it's been painted to match Mount Beanpole. A tree has been placed over here. This is where Yoshi will walk around the tree. A bullet bill and a bullet bill cannon has been added to the very top of Mount Beanpole. Here's a better look at the wood texture that's been added to the stairs near the elevator. Scaffolding has come down around Bowser's Castle where the Mario Kart ride is. The main thing left to add is Bowser's head. A bunch of trees and other themed elements have been added to the final scene of Yoshi's Adventure. We can even spot Captain Toad in this scene. Princess Peach's castle hasn't seen too much change, but pieces of her castle have been spotted at the Epic Universe construction staging area, as well as other theming elements waiting to be installed. Now let's check out Dark Universe. Next to the portal is the exit to the world. Seen here are the exit gates. It looks like it can be accessed through the village of Darkmoor. At the queue for Curse of the Werewolf, a covering has been added that goes across the wagons. This is the entrance to the ride. It will eventually look like this when it's all finished. This is probably the best look we've had so far of the train cars for the Curse of the Werewolf. On the side of the car is a medallion with a running wolf. Here is the restaurant side of Darkmoor Village. A red door has been added. Seen here are some lanterns that are lit. Here's the entrance to Monsters Unchained: A Frankenstein Experiment. The spires on top have been painted a copper color. Most of the scaffolding has come down around the facade. We can see that all the window frames that were on the ground have now been installed on the manor. A bunch of trees have been planted in front of the manor. Curious are these figures seen at the Epic Universe construction staging area. These were previously seen on top of the former Monsters Cafe at Universal Studios. I wonder where they plan on putting these characters. Now let's take a look at the Wizard World Ministry of Magic. Here's the entrance to the ride, Battle at the Ministry. Guests will travel through the Metro Flue to enter the Ministry. We've got a sneak peek at one of the animatronic Death Eaters. Scaffolding has come down around the entrance to the featured attraction. So now we can get a good look at all the ornate details on the facade. More theming elements have been added to the facades. Here's the shop Oculus Regulus. Big glasses have been added to the facade. Plus decorative railings have been added to the top windows of the shop. Also on the building next to it, a sign has been added that says Champions de Europe. Outside of the portal, here is how the colorful concrete circle is looking so far. Here's a good look at the building at the end of the steps to nowhere. Behind the building facade will be the Basilique du Sacré-Cœur. More theming has been added to the windows. Shutters are a recent addition to theme the facade. More theming has been added with this wrought iron railing at the window ledge. Over at the Helios Grand Hotel, they continue to cover the large dome in copper. More copper is continuing to be added to the roof of the ballroom. In front of the window, a globe can be seen. Panning over on the balcony, appears like there are two more globes. The pool at the Helios Grand Hotel continues to see progress on the cabanas. Frames have been added around the cement pads. Less work is being done to create steps that lead down to the pool. In a recent Discover Universal podcast, they explained how the colorful reflective tiles are made. The panels are made of stainless steel and go through an acid wash bath, which changes the color based on how long it's in it. The Terra Luna Resort has been having its lights tested. This is meant to look like a starry night sky. How they achieved this effect is they installed some panels that were just stainless steel, and lights were put on each of those panels. The colorful reflective tiles have now been completely installed on the Terra Luna Resort. There are 144,000 tiles on each hotel, all placed by hand to create a celestial theme on the exterior. At the Stella Nova Resort, the poolside continues to get more concrete paved around the trees. And now that more of it has been paved, we can see the concrete has a striped design. As always, thank you to BioReconstruct for all the amazing views into Epic. I can help you book your room here as well as park tickets. I am a travel planner with Gold Gal Getaways. If you want a free quote, click the link down below. It doesn't cost you anything extra to have me book your stay. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell to be notified of new videos. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.